I've always written stories and I would post them on a blog a long time ago. Small blog, never really shared it that much. What I want to start doing is sharing my stories through reading them. That way it's easier to listen vocally. I'm also going to tag it at mrjoshDuncan.com at the blog, so you can go to the blog and also be able to read it. And you'll also have the YouTube video link that will be posted on social media, to where you'll also be able to watch the videos anytime you want. So this will be the first one. Right now I'm currently working on a book, and the book is right now perhaps going to be titled Journey to Greatness, and it's just about stories of as I was a teacher. I used to be a teacher. Stories of students and the success that they were able to go from at the beginning of the year to the end of the year, to the stories of their parents, and awesome stories, sad stories, inspiring stories. So this is just a little piece out of the book, and I'm gonna go ahead and start to share it with you guys. It is called Success, Money, and Our False Perception. I was raised by my grandparents until 9 years old. I then moved to San Antonio with my aunts until 17, when I moved to Austin, where I lived with the host family. During the process of continuous change, who was my role models? Truth is, I was not sure what was real and what wasn't. I would listen to music and hear stories about violence, hate, and greed. I would see shiny people on TV, and I would see dreams sold to me on commercials. How could I ever choose what I wanted to be? Luckily, I was able to see every level of our social class. Poverty was a reality while living with my grandparents. Middle class was rich to me when I moved with my aunts. Austin and private school exposed me to the wealthy class. All of these experiences presented me with the understanding that wealthy was not given, it was earned. Some just have to work a little bit harder than others. One of my students inspired me to think deeper into the idea of what makes a person successful. Michaela pulls $10 out of her pocket, and her face reveals a smirk larger than the Grinch stretched smile. "Are you going to share with me?" I ask in a jokingly manner, as I smile, raise my eyebrows, and wait for anticipation. I await her reply in anticipation. "No way, Mr. Duncan. You're the rich one." I respond, "I'm not rich. What should I do?" "Ask the principal for more money because he's rich." I smile once again because the highly entertaining conversation has gone way further than I would have anticipated. "He makes great money, but he actually is not rich either." Michaela stands with one hand on her hip and the opposite arm creating an acute angle upon the side of her face as she is deep in contemplation. "I'm confused," I tell Michaela. "If none of us are rich, then who is?" Her response intrigues me. "Well, you can be a basketball player, or a football player, or a baseball player. You can be a singer or an actor. You can be on TV and be rich." That ear-to-ear smile was back. I laughed and chuckled to myself, and believe it or not, had very little to say except for, "I'm going to think about that." As Michaela continued on in line and I walked away, I was sincerely inspired. Look at this image she has of the world. Is that the way our children think we acquire wealth? Wait, no. Look at the image perhaps I have of the world. All I ever do is see these people on TV. All of my friends and peers, what is their image of success? I have all of these famous musicians on my devices. I see them on TV screens and even in the city billboards. The most beautiful and elegant men and women continue to sell us dreams and million-dollar commercials. Is this what the American dream is? So, if these are the people I always watch, read on, listen to, admire, and they're considered to be successful, do I have to be like them to be a true success? I sit quietly thinking to myself at lunch, After school, I run a routine 2 miles and get a quick 20-minute workout in at the gym as this conversation organically cycles through my thought process. I'm inspired. If I'm not one of these people on TV, if I'm not an outspoken employee, if I'm not a great public speaker, if I'm not appearing to be financially thriving and have the nicest car and the nicest house, if I don't have the most efficient trend on my back, then I must not be successful. Then, just then, that same familiar smirk that was on Michaela's face found its way into my chamber of expressions. I know the statistic. I understand the world, at least America, well enough to know you do not have to be any of those things to be successful. Greatness is not this wonderful, esoteric, elusive, godlike feature that only the special among us will ever taste. It's something that truly exists in all of us, said Will Smith. We have an unfortunate delusion of success that is merely untrue. You do not have to be a professional athlete or a famous musician or an actor or actress to be considered a success. Tyrese Gibson, musician and actor, most recently known for his roles in Transformers, spoke of an incredible analogy. He brought to life the idea that what we see when we watch the movie Transformers is tricky. We see about 11 consistent actors or actresses that are on the screen, or less. But behind the scenes on the set and in the making of the movie, there are thousands of people involved. The best part is that the people making the most money are not the people on the screen. They're not famous and they do not have to speak in front of hundreds or even thousands of people. But they do have incredible jobs and are successful people. The directors and the producers are making great money. The companies hired to build the robots and making millions of dollars along with the graphics team are deemed successful. There are so many more successful people than just those that we see as we nervously crunch down on our buttery popcorn during the suspenseful action movies. I continue to think to myself, what about one of my best friends from college? He's nothing close to famous, and I think he's one of the most successful people I know. His journey took him from Venezuela to the United States on a school visa and scholarship for engineering. He graduated in 4 years and is now making over $100,000 a year and has a smile on his face every time I see him. He is a walking success, and I've not seen him on a television screen or listened to him through my speakers. I'm not even sure if he has ever had to speak in front of an audience larger than his collegiate classroom. One of my other best friends is in medical school, pursuing a career of emergency medicine. He's not famous. I've never seen him on TV or witnessed him speak in front of a crowded room. Yet by the time he's 31, he'll be making an estimated $250,000 a year. He is a walking success. Teachers often start their careers off at $46,000 to $50,000 a year. That's more than plenty to live a comfortable life while taking vacations and investing in a 401k type plan that will have you being a millionaire by the age 55 if you do it responsibly. Not to mention the guaranteed annuity through the teacher's retirement service. Can you name one favorite teacher? Can you name one famous teacher? Can you name 2 famous teachers? One of my coolest friends growing up, underprivileged but consistently did his best in school, he earned a scholarship to a private preparatory high school. He continued to take advantage of his incredible mind and created an entertaining blog. He is now almost done with law school in Northern California. Soon he'll be a working man and living a luxurious lifestyle. I'm pretty sure, actually, I'm positive. This guy's never been on television. We often put so much of our time and energy into watching others. We sit on a chair and feed our mouths with food as we're entertained by the famous. This is a privilege. We watch this lifestyle of 300 people out of the 7 billion people on earth and believe this is what life is all about. Those people are 0.000000042% of the people on earth, but we know more about them than anyone else. Recently, Mark Cuban of the Dallas Mavericks and the television show Shark Tank talked about how we have always taught our children to dream. Quote, growing up, we were repeatedly told to dream big, to never stop dreaming, and to believe in our dreams. However, we're not told enough that dreams are accomplished by taking action. Dreams are merely thoughts, and doing is more powerful than dreaming. The doing is what changes the world and impacts people in unforeseen ways. Dream of being a physical therapist. Apply to physical therapy school and go from there. Dream of being a politician. Get involved in local campaigns and work your way up. Dream of being a writer. Apply to Elite Daily and start writing. We have more control over the doing than we give ourselves credit. If you spend all your time dreaming, you will never grant yourself the opportunity to see what you are truly capable of accomplishing. Closed quote. Encourage your children to dream and dream realistically. It is okay for them to pretend they're singing on TV or imagine they're playing professional sports in front of the world. Compliment them and push them on all of their dreams. But also recognize you can prevent your children from thinking this is their only option. Show them that if they're not famous, it does not mean they can't live happy and successful lives. It is up to parents and teachers to implement this mature thinking into the minds of the young world. Nothing is worse than somebody afraid to pursue their dreams because they're intimidated by a large crowd that they will never have to be in front of. There are two major fears we face as human beings: the fear of death and the fear of public speaking. Do not get discouraged because you cannot be someone that is famous. Focus on a dream of yours that does not require cameras following you, and smile and laugh as you become the most successful you there will ever be. Thanks for listening.